There's a moment every warrior meets when everything slows, the world goes quiet, the noise in your head fades into a single heartbeat. That's the moment between doubt and dominance. That's when you decide who you really are, not when you win, not when people cheer, but when you're alone, broken, staring at the mirror, and you whisper, "Not today." Every scar on your body is a receipt for survival. Every disappointment is data. Stop seeing failure as punishment, it's instruction. Each setback is teaching you the language of strength. You can't speak the dialect of greatness without learning the grammar of pain. People love to watch the highlight reel. They never see the 4 a.m. mornings, the hours of repetition, the doubts you choke down before every rep. They don't see the mental war you fight just to lace your shoes. But that's where greatness hides, in the invisible hours. Discipline doesn't need applause. It just needs obedience. When Kobe Bryant said, "Rest at the end, not in the middle," he wasn't talking about basketball. He was talking about life. You don't pause halfway through the climb to admire the view. You keep climbing until the mountain bows beneath your persistence. Some nights a voice in your head will scream, "Why am I doing this?" That's your old identity dying. It's supposed to hurt. Every transformation demands a funeral, the death of laziness, excuses, and comfort. Let them die. They've served their time. Make room for the version of you that refuses to retreat. You were not built to be average. Average doesn't fit you. That's why mediocrity feels suffocating. It's a cage you were never meant to live in. Your lungs were made for altitude. That's why you crave more even when you can't explain it. Discipline is not punishment. It's self-respect. Every rep, every sacrifice, every early morning says, "I'm worth the effort," because the opposite of discipline isn't freedom, it's regret. And regret is the heaviest weight you'll ever carry. Ed Milet calls it one more set, one more call, one more try. That's the difference between almost and always. Most people stop at good enough. The greats go one more. They know excellence hides just beyond exhaustion. Your mind is your strongest muscle. Train it daily. Feed it challenge, not comfort. Feed it truth, not excuses. Because the subconscious mind listens, it absorbs your habits, your language, your standards. If you keep telling yourself you can't, it obeys. If you tell it you're unstoppable, it obeys that too. Reprogram it with purpose. When your body says stop, ask your mind for permission. When your mind says stop, ask your spirit. There's always another layer of strength waiting behind the pain. Bedros Keuilian says, "The way you do anything is the way you do everything. If you cut corners in the small things, you'll collapse in the big ones." Excellence is a muscle, train it everywhere. In the way you tie your shoes. In the way you show up on time. In the way you speak to yourself when no one's listening. You are responsible for the energy you bring into every room. Walk in with focus. Walk in with calm aggression. Walk in like someone who already won the internal battle before sunrise. Fear is not your enemy. It's your compass. Whatever scares you most usually hides the growth you need most. Lean toward it. Let fear point the way. Tom Bilyeu reminds us, your excuses are valid, they just don't serve you. You can have excuses or evolution, not both. If you're waiting for the perfect plan, you'll wait forever. Start messy. Start unsure. Start scared. Just start. You think warriors feel ready? Never. They act before they're prepared, and preparation grows from action. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's movement through it. There's a rhythm to greatness: pressure, persistence, progress. Repeat until permanent. Pressure tests your will. Persistence shapes your habits. Progress rewrites your DNA. Every human you admire bleeds discipline. You think they're gifted, they're not. They're obsessed. Obsession is discipline on fire. It's what turns routine into ritual and goals into gospel. Look around. Most people live sedated. They scroll, complain, compare. They wait for a miracle but fear the work that creates one. Don't join them. Be allergic to average. Be immune to excuses. Turn your discomfort into dominance. The world doesn't owe you validation. It owes you opportunity, and it gives that to the discipline. The market pays for value, not potential. You become valuable by mastering something so deeply that the world can't ignore you. When Jay Shetty said, "Your passion becomes your purpose when you serve others," he meant that greatness multiplies. You train not just for yourself, but to inspire others to move. Your strength is a signal. Someone out there needs proof that it's possible. Be that proof. You're not chasing success, you're building capacity. The stronger you become inside, the more life you can carry without breaking. That's the real flex. Not money, not fame, capacity. When you're tempted to quit, visualize the version of you 5 years from now, focused, confident, disciplined. He exists. He's waiting on the other side of consistency. Don't let him down. Every morning you have two choices: feed the fire or feed the fear. Both are hungry, but only one will build you. The gym teaches this truth better than any classroom. Resistance creates growth. Weights don't get lighter, you get stronger. Problems don't shrink, your perspective expands. That's the formula for every area of life. Lift heavier than yesterday, mentally and physically. When Robin Sharma said, "All change is hard at first, messy in the middle, and gorgeous at the end," he was handing you the map. You're in the messy middle right now. Keep going, the gorgeous part needs you to survive this chapter. The nature of discipline is simple. It's doing what's right, not what's easy. You will never rise above the standard you set when no one's watching. That's where legends are born, in private reps and silent promises. No one is coming to save you. No mentor, no coach, no friend. Guidance helps, but grit saves. You were born with everything required to rebuild from any failure. Use it. Digital thinking and innovation aren't just tech, their mindsets. They mean adapt or disappear. The warrior adapts. He learns, experiments, evolves. He uses every tool the modern world offers to sharpen his ancient instincts. Success is survival plus strategy. Discipline is the bridge between both. And you standing here, listening to this, are closer than you think. There's a storm coming, but you've been training for it. You've bled for this mindset. You've earned this endurance. When chaos hits, you won't crumble, you'll command. Because unbreakable isn't a word, it's a frequency. You've tuned your soul to it through repetition. Every breath you take while fighting for your dream is proof you're still in the arena. And as long as you're in the arena, you're winning. Losers spectate. Warriors participate. You've spent enough time doubting. Now it's time to demonstrate. Show the world what happens when a man stops negotiating with weakness. From this moment on, you don't need approval. You don't need motivation. You don't need luck. You need movement. One disciplined step, then another, and another, until momentum becomes your master. And when you finally rest, it will not be from exhaustion. It will be from completion. Because you kept your promise. You became unbreakable. You've come too far to question your strength now. Every bruise, every scar, every night you wondered if this grind was worth it, it was. Because nothing that lives inside you was ever weak. It was only waiting for proof that you would show up. And you did. Again and again. When no one saw, when no one cared, you kept coming back. That repetition has rewritten your DNA. When you look back, you'll see that pain wasn't punishment, it was permission. Permission to rise, to rebuild, to rewrite every rule that said you couldn't. The old version, you died in the fire. And the man that walked out wasn't lucky, he was forged. The unbreakable man is not perfect. He's present. He doesn't chase feelings. He commands them. He doesn't run from storms. He walks through them until the thunder bows. He knows fear will always visit, but courage is his permanent address. Every time life hit you, it was testing a single question. Will you submit or will you adapt? Because nature rewards adaptation, not excuses. The lion doesn't ask if the hunt will be easy. He hunts because hunger demands it. Hunger is not cruel. It's calling you to evolve. When you wake up tomorrow, you'll have the voices in your head, the whisper of comfort and the roar of calling. You already know which one leads to greatness. Follow the roar. Comfort will give you rest. Calling will give you resurrection. You've been building the warrior mindset brick by brick. Disciplined subconscious mind, martial arts and fitness, self-esteem and confidence, no excuse mindset. the nature of discipline, the greatness mindset, digital thinking and innovation. These aren't slogans, they're systems. Systems that wire your brain for endurance and your body for dominance. They keep you sharp when the world dulls. They keep you moving when others freeze. Lewis Howe said, "Greatness is built in the dark." He's right. Your power was never meant for daylight approval. It was designed to shine brightest in isolation. The hours when nobody texts and no one believes, when silence becomes your sparring partner, those hours sculpt the man who leads, not follows. You have to stop measuring progress by applause. The world may ignore your discipline today, but it will have to respect the results tomorrow. Because results are undeniable, they speak in a language louder than doubt. Every rep you complete, every task you finish, every breath you fight through, it's not just effort, it's evidence. Evidence that you're still at war and still willing to bleed for what matters. Most people don't lose because they lack potential, they lose because they surrender to fatigue. But fatigue is just a liar wearing your face. The truth is, there's more inside you than you've ever accessed. The moment you stop negotiating with your limitations, everything changes. You don't ask, "Can I?" anymore. You tell yourself, "I will." That shift turns chaos into clarity. It turns noise into navigation. The unbreakable mindset doesn't look for ease, it looks for edges, because edges sharpen the blade. When Patrick Bet David says, "The pain of discipline weighs ounces, the pain of regret weighs tons," he's reminding you that the cost of greatness is always cheaper than the cost of comfort. You pay either way, choose the lighter debt. You have to learn to be ruthless with weakness but gentle with yourself. Ruthless in standards, gentle in recovery. Because self-hate destroys, but self-respect rebuilds. Don't punish yourself for falling, reward yourself for rising. The man who can rebuild endlessly is immortal in purpose. Listen, your habits are holy. They're rituals that declare who you are long before the world notices. Protect them. Guard them like a warrior guards his sword. Because your routine will outlive your motivation, and your consistency will outlast your excuses. Most people fear monotony, the disciplined crave it. Routine is where refinement hides. Doing the same thing with greater awareness each time, that's mastery. That's how you sculpt a legend out of ordinary days. There will be mornings when you wake up empty, when your body aches and your mind whispers, "Skip today." That's when you must move the most. Movement breaks mental chains. Action fuels energy. You don't think your way into confidence, you act your way there. Every breath you take under strain is rewiring your nervous system to understand discomfort won't kill you. It will crown you. Every drop of sweat is a seed. Let it plant something permanent. You're not chasing hype. You're chasing hard truth. You're chasing the unglamorous, unfiltered grind that turns men into masters. You know that every hero's story starts with rejection, and every victory demands a villain. Sometimes the villain is laziness. Sometimes it's self-doubt. Sometimes it's the easy path pretending to be peace. Recognize them all and move anyway. Bedros Kilian calls it dominate your day before your day dominates you. That means ownership. That means setting the tone before the world can set it for you. When you wake up, before the phone, before the noise, on the first star, sweat, read, reflect. Prepare. That first star is your fortress. Build it strong, and the rest of the day obeys. There's power in presence. Not just showing up physically, but mentally occupying your moment. Be where your feet are. Feel the weight of your choices. When you lift, lift like it matters. When you work, work like you're signing your legacy with each keystroke. Because you are. The warrior strength you seek is not found in competition with others, it's found in confrontation with yourself. You versus the doubt. You versus the distractions. You versus the temptation to quit early. Win that fight, and everything else bows. Remember the mantra, no excuse mindset. No justification for mediocrity. No apology for ambition. You owe it to the people who believed in you and to those who didn't to show what relentless looks like. You will fail again. You will stumble again. But every time you do, you'll fall forward, not backward. That's the promise of the discipline. We don't retreat, we reign. There's no glory without grind. There's no legacy without labor. Every generation needs proof that strength still exists. Be that proof. Your subconscious listens even now. Feed it power. Speak to it like a general speaks to his army. Tell it we don't negotiate with fear. Tell it we don't rest in the middle. Tell it that every second is sacred. You are not behind, you are building. You are not late, you are learning. You are not stuck, you are strengthening your roots before the next rise. And when that rise comes, it will be violent in beauty. It will silence every critic, every doubt, every shadow that once told you you couldn't. Because Unbreakable isn't about never bending, it's about bending so much the storm gets tired first. The man who refuses to quit becomes a myth. Not because he's superhuman, but because he's consistent when everyone else is convenient. Consistency is the true miracle. There's a line from Eric Thomas that cuts deep. Don't cry to quit. Cry to keep going. Let the tears fall if they must, but let them water your grit, not drown your grind. You are one decision away from a completely different life. One day of total focus, 1 week of no excuses, 1 year of unwavering discipline, and the world won't recognize you. Every time you stand tall after failure, the world quietly takes notes. Because courage is contagious. Your example becomes someone else's permission slip to start. So breathe deep. Square your shoulders. Whisper the creed of the unbreakable. I will not stop. I will not fold. I will not die wondering. Because the man you're becoming deserves to meet the man you promised to be.